I grew up in Spain, pretty much city, nothing country. Zero background as far as green, dirty hands. Allison grew up suburbs.
Wanted to be a teacher since I was second grade. Went to college, became a teacher. We had 3 children at the time. I read that if you want to raise good kids, you got to move to the country. Well, I want to raise good kids, so we should probably move to the country.
We were already intent on raising good kids. In fact, that's foremost on our heart. Good marriage, good family, and parenting well. Country living is actually a great environment for this to happen. We had a little house in the suburbs. We saw that other houses had pretty plants out in their front yards, and we thought, hey, we need to do that. It'd be pretty, it'd be nice. We looked at each other, and what do we do? She said, I have a friend. I said, call your friend. So her nice friend, she came over and rolled up her sleeves, dug a hole, put the plant in, dug another hole, put the plant in, and we just stared in awe. We were shocked, like, that's it. You just plant the thing in the hole. We were so green that we were shocked at what it was like to plant a plant in the ground.
Well, the first thing I learned that was really bad for us was store-bought milk. And so I wanted a milk cow. And that started it out pretty much. And then I learned that other things were bad. And oh my, it became a rabbit trail to go down and to learn the things that we could do better. And we wanted good kids, but then we realized we want good kids who are healthy. And we want to be healthy parents. So we should better start looking into this stuff. So that's kind of how it started, was with the desire for healthy milk and healthy food.
We jumped in so immediately that within a month of moving into the country,
we had 4 kids at this point.
You're at home.
Ages 4 and under. I'm at home.
I'm out and
Kids
about.
are in bed. And you called me at 10:30 at night and you said, I am bringing home a cow. I didn't know he was going to get a cow. He said, I'm bringing home a cow and I'll be home in an hour and a half. And in the dining room, there is a box of electric fencing. He said, take it out of the box and read the instructions because we're going to have to put it up when I get home. We got to put the cow somewhere. What? Needless to say, we had no idea what we were doing.
She wants a cow. I want a cow. We have no idea about electric fencing. I just got the trailer to bring the cow home that day, hours prior. We get home and we use my truck lights to shine on the front yard. And the neighbor comes out, older man, and we're putting up a fence. And we're putting up cow out in our side yard. They say, please survive till the morning so that we can attempt to hand milk you without having been taught how to do it. We just cold turkey, cold cow, go milk this thing.
After those first few days of getting used to her, we would go out and milk every morning together.
We call them dates.
Every morning.
Milk,
we had a
milk
date.
morning dates. We loved it right away, the milk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That milking experience lasted for about 3 years. 12 years later, the youngest boy at the time is now a 15-year-old. So our son James says, I'm rotating sheep and goats, and I think I'm ready for a cow. And now we own 3 milk cows. Only one of them is in milk. James learned quickly. Now I'm the second milker if he needs me, but he does all the milking. But we have 2 extra boys learning how to milk. So we pretty much have 1 main milker, then a secondary experienced milker, and 2 new secondary milkers. So we've come a long way.
I am the main person who takes care of all the animals. And I take care of most of the chickens, the dogs, the sheep, and the cows. That entails moving the sheep, goats, and cows once a day. I build a electric netting, making a paddock each day for them so I can move them once a day to keep parasites off of them. Also to give the pasture a rest before they come back and graze it, instead of them being in one big area for a while. It's been a very big difference. At first I started rotationally grazing, moving once a week. Prior to that, we had a lot of sheep and goats die from parasites, and them being infected with parasites because they were in places too long, and so they ingested parasites and it just made them sick and they would die. Once I started doing a week rotation, it got a whole lot better, but there was still sickness. I decided to go down to once a day. So I move them every day, and that has cut down. I haven't had any parasite deaths, and I haven't had to use dewormer at all, and so that has been a very big plus, and just the overall health in the sheep. What's fun on the farm is new life, babies and lambs, goat kids. Soon we're gonna have calves on the farm, which is gonna be so fun. Because I'm out here every day, I get the front row seat at life and the joy, and it makes me happy every day. See how happy the animals are to go to a fresh paddock, and just the joy they get just by me opening the gate for them, and I really enjoy that part. It makes it worth it, just that. It takes effort to keep pushing along, get out here every day in the mornings and milk and move sheep and everything that goes along with that, no matter rain, shine, whatever. It's just what you have to do because it's your job, and I enjoy it. It's hard sometimes, but it's super fulfilling.
We moved to the country, and at the same time, we got rid of TV. For the kids, they thrived. We could read, and they would go outside and act out whatever we had just read in books. There was plenty of time for them to work, even pretend work. They would pretend work on the playground and make pretend things and have a dirt house and make things on their pretend fire pit. And so there was so much time for them, their imaginations to thrive, and for them to be able to collect eggs and to help with the cows and to help with chickens. One of the best things we did was just involving our kids in everything that we learned. I did not feel like I had to have it figured out in the kitchen. He didn't feel like he had to have it figured out outside in order to involve them. And so they learned right alongside us. And it's so fun now in many ways to see them surpassing us in their knowledge, just because that's what they've grown up doing. So we were able just to establish a good work ethic from the beginning. First of all, because we didn't have a TV that distracted us. We didn't have social media that distracted us. And they spent so much time outside doing whatever we were doing.
I have appreciated being raised on a farm and a homestead. It has instilled in me a desire to want to work and desire to replicate this lifestyle with my future family as well. I know sometimes kids being raised in a certain environment, it makes them want to rebound and say, oh no, I was homeschooled, never again. Or I was raised in a big family, I'm having 2 kids or no kids. But being raised in this lifestyle, being homeschooled, being raised in a big family, living on a farm has made me say, you know what, I want to do that too. I want to give my kids what I've had.
Being raised on a homestead has given me the opportunity to develop my work ethic, because if I was in the city, I would not have the opportunities that I have to work outside, whether it's doing chores with the animals, working in the garden, developing our woods. That kind of work ethic is allowing me to now be diligent in anything I do. Homeschooling has been a big blessing, because if we were at a public school, we would not be able to work on the farm near as much.
being homeschooled means that you can work at your own pace. So in some subjects, I was able to go a lot faster than other subjects, and then have plenty of time to work outside and to play outside. The perks of living on a farm add on to that homeschooling, and you've really got a great life.
Homesteading is very fulfilling, even though it takes a lot of hard work, but it's very fulfilling and rewarding. I've just loved the feeling of being productive, having a job well done, and just getting to reap the harvests, reap the benefits of all your hard work. It's so much better than buying something because you've put the work into it and you have the skills to do it yourself.
I've always had a lot of siblings ever since I can remember. Having more has always been a blessing. God says children are a blessing. Being able to live in such a big family is just fun. It can be challenging as well, but God blessing us with a big family and a big farm is a great joy to me.
Being homeschooled has definitely helped nurture our sibling relationships. That is one of my major things that I'm grateful for about being homeschooled, is just all the time that we've had to spend together. We were not spread out in all different directions each day. We got to be together for school and just for life, and that helped cultivate good relationships between siblings. And not to say that we're always perfect or always get along, but just being together makes us have to work things out and work well together, and I can truly say that my siblings are my best friends.
My job and my responsibility to care for things that I just can't stop when I want to. It's not about the highs, like, oh, this is so fun, and I go through that where like this is amazing, I love doing this, but then like when it's like, oh, this is in the middle of summer when it's dead hot out here, it's hard to do it, but it's just my responsibility, and so that keeps me going.
I just want to encourage anybody who's thinking about doing anything related to homesteading to give it a go. We did not know how to plant a plant. And we were scared of laying hens, which is about the easiest thing that you can have. And so it's amazing how far we've come since then, just by trying things. And my encouragement to anybody would be just jump in and try something small. Have a little tiny garden to start with. Buy a few laying hens. Involve your kids in anything and everything. That's the best advice I have. If you have children, involve your kids from the youngest age in anything and everything you do, because then you're just duplicating yourself. They're gonna find things that they like, and they're gonna run with it, and they're gonna grow and thrive in ways that you won't be able to do. Our kids are able to do things I've never been able to do, and they've taken off in areas that I've never taken off in, but we allowed them to start trying those things and to doing some of those things with us from the beginning. So that would be my encouragement, is jump in as a family or as a couple with your little children, and just let them be a part of everything.
To this day, we agree with the advice that we went on in the first place of a good environment to raise your kids is the country. We still believe that. I certainly think it's doable in any place and setting. It's the intentionality of the parents to make it happen. Don't expect it always to be fun and games. It's hard work, but it's worthwhile.
I think it's good to have things to look forward to. I love harvesting green beans. I love planting green beans. I love harvesting green beans. I love canning green beans. I love the time together as a family, snapping the green beans. And so that's something that even if it's super hot outside, it's a fun activity to look forward to. That's just one of the things I happen to love. Or as summer ends and it's still hot, but we're starting back to school and the muscadines come in and they're amazing. And so it's a lot of work to put up all the muscadine juice, and at the same time, it's super fun. They're delicious, something to look forward to.
It also helps hearing other people's stories and that they can do it and they can hang in there, and their persistence and their perseverance, and it's worth it to them. And like, oh, good, I'm not alone, because it's somewhat of an alone project some of the time, or a lonely feeling. Am I the only one going through this? But when you read and see and hear about other experiences, that helps.
It's also not lonely having so many kids. That's a blessing. They make everything fun.
And stay smitten with your girl, because if not, it'd be pretty tough.
My sister and I became very interested in herbalism and studying natural health, living a healthy lifestyle with our family, which is something that our mom has been learning about for years since we were little kids. We studied herbalism and natural health in high school, which that's unheard of unless you're homeschooled, which is amazing. We make herbal tinctures, herbal salves. We were able to then pursue that now as a business, as a sustainable business, growing herbs on our farm that we put into our products, that we can sell at farmers markets, that we can sell online. It's just fantastic.
Just like everything else, we started learning and putting that knowledge to use, and then we realized we can share this with other people too. This is exciting. And again, it wasn't just me, it's involving our kids. And so I love doing the herbal business with our two oldest daughters.
I've always been entrepreneurial. From the time I was young, I wanted to start a lemonade stand. I wanted to figure out how to sell wooden signs. I wanted to create aprons and go to farmers markets and sell them. I've been so grateful that homeschooling has given me that opportunity to now pursue businesses that are not conventional, and this route that we've taken has just opened up a whole world that would not be possible given other circumstances.
We also grow herbs. We're growing more each year and planting those, learning about them. And we have elderberry bushes, so we can harvest our own elderberries now to make elderberry syrup. Just being able to share the products that we make with other people because they work for us. We only sell them to others because they work for us first. They are products that we really use in our own home. That's been a new area of knowledge and exploring over these past few years.
One of my favorite things about homesteading is just the freedom to learn and be creative and be more self-sufficient. I just love learning new skills each year and putting them into practice. Gardening is one of my favorite things about homesteading. Getting to be in the soil and plant seeds and just watch new life grow and get to reap the rewards and eat the harvest. You know, sometimes I feel like people look at homesteading and they look at farming in this lifestyle, and it's so exciting. They see the Instagram and they see the 20-second reels of somebody creating a masterpiece, or they love the warm, fuzzy feeling inside when watching somebody else do it. The hardships are that things happen on a homestead that are not always talked about. There's a lot of life, there's a lot of new growth, and there's also lots of death. There's going to be death in animals, there's going to be death in gardens, there's going to be that life cycle. Everything's not always beautiful and blooming. Not everybody always realizes that. Sometimes homesteading and this lifestyle is portrayed as all well and good, and while it is, there are definitely those hardships. So I think just having a realistic perspective is necessary as we pursue this journey of homesteading. I would encourage someone who is just getting into homesteading to start small, but to start somewhere. Start with a little raised bed in your backyard. Start with a few chickens. Start small, but just get started, and then you will realize that it's doable and be inspired to do a little something else next year and something else the next year, and just be so blessed by the benefits, the peace, the self-sufficiency of homesteading. And it's an amazing way of life.
as soon as you can, begin learning as much as you can. But also don't feel like you have to learn everything before you start doing it, because my parents, I know, started farming back when they had a very small idea of what they were doing. They were learning, but also they had to do it hands-on to actually be able to fully learn. Learn as much as you can and then start, and from there I think it'll grow easier over time.
2 statements that I've learned since being out here that are really cool. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. There isn't anything to it but to do it. And then another one is, I ain't afraid of hard work. And that means the same thing. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Just do it. I ain't afraid of hard work. Just do it and be ready for some trial and error and hardship and excitement and everything in between. And yet the end result from where you started, you'll be like, wow, what a big difference. What it's done in me, what I've learned, and what I've accomplished. I was a father of 3 or 4 kids, and I was old enough to say, look, I know that I don't know the answer. So instead of pretending, instead of being embarrassed to ask, I'm going to ask everything. The dumbest question is the unasked question. So I would ask and ask and ask, and that was helpful. And to this day, I said, well, if you don't know the answer, ask. Ain't nothing to it but do it. If we can do it,
You can do it.
so can you. All right then. Peace.